Hello students, now that we have the template override system up and running, all that's left is to define what goes inside our templates. That way we can decide how each of the page types will look like. Well, a template file is quite simple to create. For those who want more details about this, please enroll in one of my courses about theme development. But I will give you a quick overview here just so you understand the basics, right? I will not go into detail because this is not the goal of this course, okay? So let's start with the archive mv testimonials.php file. Every template file needs at least a header, a footer, and a central part where the content is loaded. This central part varies according to what you want to display. In an archive type template, what you want is a list of posts of a certain type. In a single type template, you need all details of a single post. That's why it is called single.php. To call the header and footer, I will use the functions getHeader and getFooter. Now, if I reload my list of testimonials, what I see here is just the theme header and footer for now. Well, but will it always be like this, Marcelo? Yes, I would say that almost 100% of the themes are done the same way. If you open any template file of any theme, you see these calls to getHeader and getFooter. Now the problem is the rest of the code. What goes in the middle of the theme? It is almost impossible to create a template file that fits all the existing themes. For example, let's say that for this plugin template file, the center part will start with a div with the class mv testimonials archive. Let's create it then. The problem is that I have no way to ensure that all WordPress themes will start with a div. Maybe there are themes that start with a section element or any other HTML tag. So what I will do here is try to create a template file that fits more or less all themes. To do that, I'll try to use the same HTML markup of the latest native WordPress themes. Even so, I can't get it 100% right because not all of them follow the same pattern, okay? I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out how to do this until I had the idea to check how WooCommerce does it. It turns out that WooCommerce has no magic way to make their own template files look good in any theme. What WooCommerce does is make lots and lots of different CSS files available. It uses those CSS files to try to make the plugin look great in all the native WordPress themes. No kidding. Inside the plugins folder, there are many CSS files that work for all native WordPress themes, from the oldest ones onwards. This is the only way you can make the plugin's inner pages look beautiful, but only in native themes, alright? It can't do this for all the thousands of themes out there. But then you may ask me, but then how come I downloaded the theme the other day and the WooCommerce pages look good in it? Well, you can bet that's because the guy who created the theme you downloaded, he or she had to adapt the theme to WooCommerce, okay? That's how it works. That will be the idea behind our plugin. I could make the plugin's template, the ones I'm creating now, perfect for all native WordPress themes. For that, I will have to make a specific CSS for all native themes. Let's assume that one day this plugin becomes very popular like WooCommerce. If some theme creator wanted my plugin's template to look good in his or her theme, then he or she would have to do everything to make it happen. That's more or less the idea. What I will do for this plugin is neither one thing nor the other. As the goal here is not to become the next WooCommerce, I will try to make the templates look more or less similar to the native themes. But you see that will be a little bit lacking in terms of design. The goal of the course is not design, so I will not even worry about that, okay? Well, I hope you understood what I wanted to explain. So let's move on. I'm going to create here a header tag with the page header class. And here inside, I'm going to make a call to a function named the archive title. This will display the title of the archive page. The first parameter is the opening HTML code for the title. I'll pass it like this. And the second parameter is the closing tag. Saving it. And this is what it looks like for now. Now I need the list of testimonials as well. And we can achieve this with a loop. But man, I already have a loop. Remember that we already created a loop for the widget. So I'll go there and copy it here. And I'll make some changes. First, post per page, I will change to -1. This way I show all the testimonials on the page. The best will be not to specify anything here and let WordPress control the number of items. But then we would have to control the pagination, and I don't want to get into that now. So for now, let's leave it like this. Another thing I'm going to change is that I'm going to add an article tag here before the testimonial item div. I open it here. And close it here. In here, I'm going to pass this code. What this does is just output some CSS IDs and classes related to each of the posts, of the testimonials I mean. That will help us style each item. Here instead of H3, I want an H2. And here I need to pass the actual post link. And to do that, I can call a link tag here. And in the href, I call the permalink. Here I'm going to remove this validation. Change the image size to 200 by 200. And add an array to add the img fluid class. This will make the image responsive, alright? We have seen this before. It has to do with the plugin's CSS, right? Here on the meta div, I will also remove these verifications. I will just leave the two spans. That's it. Let's see how it looks. It's not the most wonderful thing in the world, but it's fine. This page is already using the CSS that I made available to you guys a few lessons ago. If you open the CSS file, you'll see that I already left the CSS in place for the two types of templates we are creating here. The best thing, as I said before, would be to tweak the CSS a bit more so that the page looks like it really belongs to the theme. The best option would be to do the same for all native WordPress themes at least, but that's not the goal of this course. But it's good enough indeed. I can now copy all this and use it as a base for the single file. So let's do it. Now the purpose of this template is different. We don't need a list of testimonials, but only one testimonial. So I will make some modifications here. I'll start with the class inside this div. The name here will be MV testimonials single. The header class will be called entry header. Instead of the archive title, I'll just call the title a function you're already familiar with. The name of this class will be entry title. Now, here we don't need a custom loop. What we're gonna have here is a standard loop. To turn this into a standard loop, I first remove this piece here. I also don't need the if block. I don't need the object name. And I also don't need this WP reset post data. Since I already passed the title up here, I can delete this snippet here. And that's it. Let's open a testimonial. Well, it needs a little better styling, but I think you got the idea, right? Let's switch themes to see how it looks like in another theme. For example, in 2021, first let's activate the theme. Add support over there in functions.php. Well, as a matter of fact, it looks a little better in this theme. Check it out. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed this topic. I really enjoyed introducing it to you. Now I suggest you to make your own tests, make some changes in the plugin CSS, and try to add support in another theme you have installed and see how it behaves. I can only say that you may be very disappointed with the way it looks, okay? But I hope you understand what to do to solve the problem. I'll be waiting for you in the next lesson when I will explain how to improve even more the plugin's template override system. So see you then.